Many winters ago, I remember a quiet evening in the snowy village where we lived. It was a gentle night, with soft snowflakes drifting down from the sky. They muffled every sound and made everything seem peaceful. The air was cold but not biting, just cool enough to make you appreciate your warm coat and hat. As twilight turned into night, the lights in our homes began to glow warmly, casting golden hues through the windows. Outside, the streets were deserted except for a few brave souls walking home from work. The snow crunched softly underfoot, creating a comforting rhythm. The village seemed to have paused in time, wrapped in its own quiet magic. As I walked along the narrow cobblestone path, the world felt vast and open. Even though it was late, the stars began to twinkle brightly overhead, adding a soft sparkle to the evening sky. It was a perfect night for sitting by the fireplace, sipping hot chocolate, and telling stories with family. The old church bell chimed softly in the distance, its slow rings echoing through the silent village. The sound felt timeless, like it had always been there and would continue forever. In that moment, I felt safe and content, surrounded by the peace of a winter night. The sky turned a pale gray as night began to fall softly over the village. Slowly at first, barely visible against the darkening backdrop, snowflakes started their gentle descent. Each flake was big and soft, like tiny feathers from a dream. These flakes fluttered down, landing on rooftops, trees, and windowsills with a whisper of silence. They created a thick layer of white, covering everything in peace and calm. The ground, the buildings, even the bare branches of the trees were soon blanketed under this cozy blanket of snow. People inside their homes watched through the windows, marveling at the silent transformation outside. The soft hiss of snow touching surfaces was the only sound to break the hush that settled over the village. I stepped out of the cozy inn, the crunch of snow under my boots filling the air. As I walked through the village, the world seemed to slow down, and everything was frozen in peace. The houses stood tall and proud, their windows glowing warmly like little stars. The street was a path made of white, like a blanket laid by winter. Each step I took sent tiny snowflakes dancing around my feet. The cold didn't bother me. It felt cozy and peaceful, as if the village itself was wrapped in a soft embrace. I noticed how the few lights that peeked out from the windows were warm and inviting. They painted the snow with soft golden hues, making everything look like a fairy tale come to life. Each house seemed to have its own story, hidden behind its closed doors. As I passed by, I saw the steam rising gently from a nearby chimney. It looked like a whisper of magic floating up into the snowy sky. The village was quiet, so quiet that even my breath sounded heavy in the cold air. I paused for a moment near an old, sturdy tree. Its branches were weighed down with snow but held strong against the winter's grip. The silence around me was almost too much to bear, yet it felt comforting and serene. I could feel the peace settling in, like a warm blanket over everything. The world outside was still and beautiful, all under that thick layer of snow. It seemed as though nothing bad could happen here, just this quiet, gentle calm. As I continued my walk through the snow-covered village, I noticed something that made my heart warm: the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting from a small cafe. The snow was still falling gently around me, soft and silent, but inside the cafe was a different story. The cafe was cozy, with wooden tables and chairs arranged by the window. People were sipping their hot coffees and chatting softly among themselves. The walls were painted in warm colors, and there were big windows that let in the light from outside. A few cakes on display at the counter looked inviting, their frosting a soft white like pure snow. I stepped inside and felt the warmth immediately. A friendly barista greeted me with a smile. "Merry Christmas," she said gently. It was as if the cafe had been waiting for someone just like me to come in and share its comfort. I ordered a hot chocolate, its steaming steam making little rings of condensation on the air near my face. As I sipped, I noticed the snow had begun to settle more heavily outside. The cafe's warmth seemed to shield me from the chill, wrapping me gently like a blanket. The barista brought out a small cake for me. "On the house," she said with a smile. "It's a wintry treat." I bit into the cake, and it was delicious, just sweet enough, with tiny snowflakes made of chocolate sprinkles on top. The warmth from the cafe filled my chest, making me feel safe and happy. Outside, the world outside was still white and silent, but inside the cafe, there were voices and laughter, a gentle hum of life that felt like home. The evening had settled in a peaceful blanket of snow. The cafe was filled with warmth from the fireplace, where logs crackled softly. I sat by the window, sipping my hot chocolate, and noticed the villagers walking into the cafe. They were dressed warmly, their breath misting in the cold air. A kind-looking woman named Eliza approached me. She wore a thick woolen coat and a friendly smile on her face. "Welcome to our village," she said warmly. "Thank you," I replied with a smile. "How's your day been?" Eliza chuckled gently. "It's been quiet as usual, but it's always busy here in the evening. Come, sit down." She led me to an open table by the fireplace. We were surrounded by soft light and the comforting sounds of the crackling wood. "Tell me about this village," I said curiously. Eliza nodded, her eyes bright with memory. "This place has a long history. It was founded over 200 years ago by settlers who came seeking peace and solitude." I listened intently as she spoke. They built their homes close to the woods and by the river. The village still looks like it did back then, simple yet beautiful. Eliza leaned in closer, her voice softening. "Do you know about the old mill? It's on the outskirts of town. It used to grind flour for everyone here, but now it just stands as a reminder of our past." We talked more about the village and its people. The villagers were all very friendly, eager to share their stories. A young man named Martin joined us from the kitchen. He was tall and wore an apron tied around his waist. "Hey, Eliza," he greeted me with a warm smile. "How's the conversation going?" She nodded. "It's good. This lady is curious about our village history." Martin sat down next to me, offering me another cup of hot chocolate. It was sweet and creamy, perfect for a chilly evening. "We have many stories here," he said thoughtfully, "like how the old mill used to be a hub for the whole community. And then there's the annual winter festival we hold, full of lights, music, and laughter." Eliza interjected, "And remember the time when we all helped build that new treehouse for the children? It was such a joyous day." As I listened, I felt a sense of warmth and belonging. "Isn't it amazing how these stories bring us together?" she asked gently. I nodded in agreement. "Yes, it really is." The villagers continued to share their tales. I learned about the village's traditions and its people's kindness. It was clear that everyone here looked out for each other and shared a strong bond. When Eliza and Martin began to leave, they wished me well before heading back home. The cafe slowly filled with more villagers as evening deepened into night. "Thank you all for sharing your stories," I said softly as they left. After talking to the villagers for a while, I decided to explore our cozy little village some more. Slowly, I stepped outside, wrapped tightly in my warm coat. The air was crisp and cold, but the gentle snowflakes felt soft against my cheeks. Outside, everything was quiet and peaceful. The white blanket of snow covered the paths, making them look like winding ribbons. I could see a few huts with their roofs decorated by little heaps of snow, looking like tiny, fluffy hats. The village was surrounded by big trees, their branches heavy with snow, almost touching the ground. As I walked, my boots crunched softly in the new snow. In the distance, I saw a frozen lake. It sparkled under the pale light of the moon, creating a magical glow around it. The ice looked so clear and clean, almost like glass. A few stars twinkled above us, adding to the serene beauty of the snowy landscape. The trees around me were silent sentinels, standing tall in their white coats. Their branches seemed to stretch out, as if they wanted to protect this peaceful place from any harm. The whole village felt like a sleeping giant, wrapped in its soft snow blanket, ready for another day to come and pass. I decided to take a walk to the village's frozen lake. The snow had turned everything a soft, peaceful white. As I approached the lake, I could see children and adults gathered there, laughing and enjoying themselves. The ice was thick and shiny under the light of the setting sun. They were skating, moving gracefully in circles around each other. A few people were playing games, chasing each other with laughter as clear as the cold air. The sound of skates on ice and excited voices filled the quiet evening. I stood there for a moment, watching them. It was beautiful to see such joy even in this still winter landscape. I felt happy just by looking at their enthusiasm. As I watched, some children noticed me and waved with big smiles. I smiled back, feeling warm inside from seeing their happiness. As the day of adventure drew to a close, I made my way through the soft, powdery snow towards my little house. The door creaked gently as I pushed it open, and warmth from inside wrapped around me like an old friend. I set down my small backpack by the door and took off my coat, hanging it by the fireplace. The heat from the fire cast a gentle glow across the room, making everything feel snug and safe. I placed my hands on the warm wooden mantel, feeling the comfort radiate through my fingers. In front of the fire, I saw my slippers sitting neatly near an old rocking chair. They looked just as cozy as ever, as if they were waiting for me. I slipped them on and settled into the chair, letting out a contented sigh. Outside, the snow continued its soft dance. Each flake landed gently on the ground, creating a quiet symphony of falling and melting. The world outside was peaceful, but inside my home, there was an extra layer of warmth that made it feel like a haven. I picked up a book from the small table beside me, a story about snowy landscapes. The pages were soft to the touch, and as I turned them, the firelight played across them, making the words seem gentle and comforting. The characters in the book seemed to share my peaceful mood, their stories soothing my mind after the day's adventure. I let the fire crackle and pop around me, its rhythm helping me relax completely. As the night grew deeper, I found myself nodding gently along with the flames, my thoughts drifting to happy memories. I climbed into my cozy bed, the warm quilt wrapping me in comfort. The room was quiet now, just the soft glow of the night light a companion against the dark. Outside, the snow continued to fall, each tiny flake landing gently on the already white ground. I closed my eyes and listened. The snow made no loud sounds. It fell softly, like whispers. I imagined the flakes dancing in the air and settling onto the roof, covering everything with a thick blanket of white. It was peaceful outside, peaceful inside. The moon shone through the window, casting a silvery light over the room. I felt calm, safe, and happy to be home. The old clock on the wall ticked softly, its rhythm blending with my breathing. Every sound seemed muffled, distant, part of this quiet world. I thought about all that had happened during the day, wonderful, simple things. I remembered the warm tea, the funny story my grandmother told me, and how nice it was to snuggle up in our little house. All those feelings mixed together inside me, creating a warm, gentle hug. Finally, I felt myself drifting off. The last thing I heard before closing my eyes completely was the soft rustle of snow against the roof. It seemed like such a simple sound, but it made everything feel right. I smiled and let sleep take me away. In this peaceful village, under the blanket of white, there was nothing to worry about. Everything was fine just as it was. Good night, my dear friend. I hope you have sweet dreams in the snow.